at the baseball winter meetings here in Nashville, and with us now is Brian Graham, the Orioles Director of Player Development. Of course, he's kind of the top of the food chain of the Oriole minor leagues, working with the managers, the staff, all the personnel with the minors. And Brian, it was a pretty good year for the Oriole minor leagues. How do you assess if it was a good year? We know a couple teams made the playoffs. Bowie won a championship. How do you yourself assess it?
Well, certainly winning is important, and obviously we think of that in terms of all of our 6 minor league affiliates, but more importantly is the development process of our prospects, and especially with the promotions. We promoted so many players from lower levels to higher levels, and then the ultimate is how many guys that we can get to help our big league club win, and that's the development, is when you get your minor league players to help your big league club win, you feel like you've done a good job.
Yeah. You want to develop players, send them to higher levels to the majors, and you'd like to win. This year you were able to go 2 for 2 in many respects, correct?
We did, and winning and development goes hand in hand, because if you're doing things right, you're doing things correctly from a development standpoint, you're going to win ball games, and I think especially from a pitching standpoint, if you throw strikes and you catch the ball defensively and guys put good at bats together, you end up scoring more runs than other teams, and it's not that simple. It's quite a complex process, but we did a pretty good job this year.
Let's get a couple injury updates on key guys. We know Dylan Bundy did not make that last start in the Arizona Fall League, forearm stiffness. Is there any concern? How's he doing?
No concern. He met with the doctors in Baltimore. He's doing great. He's healthy. He's going to have a normal off season. He'll come into spring training and be ready to go. He's actually throwing the ball well.
Was that just a precaution? There was no real red flag, but if there's anything with Dylan with his history, you got to be careful here, right?
Well, you do, but it was absolutely a precaution. He's great. He's in great shape. He's in great spirits, emotionally, mentally. He's doing great, and his arm feels great, so it was definitely a precaution.
I think one of the most impressive things to me about Bundy, let's not even talk about his physical gifts, which are considerable, is his mental capacity to withstand some of these setbacks, keep fighting back, and keep a great attitude.
You're absolutely positively right. Dylan is his great work ethic, his great mentality, his competitive spirit, but to be able to battle back from the adversity he's had up to this point has been terrific, and he's in a good place right now. He's coming to spring training to be on that big league club.
Hunter Harvey, with the elbow situation, discomfort, we have not seen him pitch in a minor league game since the middle of the 2014 season. How is he doing?
He's doing great. He's healthy. He's throwing bullpens. He's completed a long toss program, and he feels great. He's doing great, and it's just a matter of time till he gets back out there, and hopefully we see both those guys at the January minicamp.
Is the confusing part, if that's the right word, with a player like Harvey? He's doing great, but yet there have been setbacks, and no one has the crystal ball. You don't know, I don't know, Buck or Dan probably doesn't know come April if everything will be fine with Harvey.
Well, nobody knows. You're absolutely correct, and it'll be April until we find out exactly where he is health-wise. And unfortunately, it's an elbow issue, and with an elbow issue, it shows up, it flares up, and potentially, possibly, hopefully, it doesn't show up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Gilmar Reyes is another one of the Orioles' top prospects. Did very well this year at Delmarva. He did in Instructional League have a hamate bone injury in his left hand and had surgery. What's the latest there?
Well, he's healthy. He's back in the Dominican Republic working out. We do have trainers and actually nutritionalists with him, and he's doing great. His hand's healthy. He's back to normal activity, and he'll be 100% healthy by spring training.
When you look at the Oriole minors overall, fans know they've read some of these organizational rankings that put the Orioles towards the bottom of Major League Baseball. But then when you go out and see it like I do, you see Tanner Scott get a note like he got yesterday. You see Bowie win a title. There are obviously some good things happening here. There's some good development happening here. Does that bother the Oriole organization when they see these rankings?
It always bothers you if somebody says something that's not complimentary, but at the same time, we know internally what a great minor league system we have, and we know what a great development system we have. And if we put players in this system, they're going to be the very best players they can be. And we've scouted and drafted some very good players, and certainly if we don't have as much depth according to the national publications, hey, you know what? That's an evaluation they make. And from our standpoint, if we can get players to help our big league club win, then we have a very productive minor league system. And that's where we are right now.
Certainly a lot of good things happened this year. Brian Graham, we thank you, Brian, for taking some time with us today.
Thanks, Steve. It's always a pleasure.
Brian Graham, part of the Orioles front office contingent here at the winter meetings on MASNsports.com.